My wife and I started Mile High Fungi 10 years ago in 2014. Lion's mane was one of the first mushrooms that we grew. Most people, including ourselves, didn't really know exactly what to do with it. Coming from Maryland, crab cakes have always been a part of my life. I'd heard that it was, crab-like. So I was like, oh, I got crab cake recipes. Let's give it a go. We just made a decadent lion's mane crab cake, and we're going to walk you through the steps on how to get there yourself. I could eat all of them. So we've got ourselves a nice specimen here. It's a little over a pound. I do have farmer's hands, so they're clean, but they permanently look dirty. Lion's mane's a fascinating mushroom in the sense that it kind of bridges the gap between the culinary world and the medicinal world. It's been used for millennia in traditional Chinese medicine, and now the West is really kind of catching up. Good for blood sugar regulation. It's most notably known for its cognitive support functions. So you see it a lot for like mental clarity or memory support. But one of the best things about it is it's just delicious. Today, we're going to be using lion's mane to make a mock crab cake. Coming from Maryland originally, I'm a crab cake connoisseur, and I really do believe that this recipe holds up to the best crab cakes on the East Coast. In general, I also think that tearing mushrooms, a lot of people want to just straight chop the mushrooms, but I'm very much a fan of tearing mushrooms. I make a mean lion's mane po' boy, where like I'll rip them into like bigger clusters and then bread them and fry them. When people are like, I'll get the 5 ounce, like a third of a pound. And I'm like, well, how many people are you cooking for? Well, there's 4 of us. Okay. Most mushrooms are in like the 80 to 90% water. And that's also, I think, one of the reasons that people like screw them up is that the water content's so high that they don't like give it a chance to really brown, like to reduce the water, I don't always dry roast. A lot of people swear by it. I'll use a fair amount of oil, but I'll cook them a really long time so that they actually caramelize and crisp up. If I had 5 pounds of lion's mane, I would not try to saute them. I would throw them in a big pan and roast them at high heat. We've got the lion's mane in with a little bit of salt and a little bit of water. We're mainly just trying to sweat out some of the extra moisture that are in the mushrooms. I like to do it at slightly higher heat. We're looking for a little bit of browning on the final product. So this should be probably about 10 minutes. But obviously your eye is really going to be what you're going to be looking for. So nice kind of golden brown finish. Yeah, when I start to see them, uniformly kind of start to brown up and the water is pretty much gone, I'm going to go ahead and call this guy done. I got them nice and brown, and then we did a rough chop on them, so it is a little bit more of the actual kind of crab consistency and texture. We're going to mix it all together and then put it in the refrigerator for anywhere between half an hour and overnight. We'll start off with the green onions, throw those guys in. These are some Jimmy Nardello, sweet Italian peppers. You can use bell peppers. I think most recipes call for bell peppers. I just had these lying around. So throw them in here. We've got some fresh Italian parsley. Really any herbs work, cilantro, tarragon. Well, crab cakes really need a binder. So this is roughly, half to 3/4 cup of panko. Basically any of the residual moisture that's going to be in those crab cakes are going to get absorbed up over the panko. So again, that's why we want a little bit extra time in the refrigerator for it all to kind of bind together. Some Worcestershire sauce, 1 egg, about 1/4 cup or so of mayo, and then my favorite, Old Bay.
Old Bay is definitely up for personal preference.
So I know a number of people that will Old Bay their finished product. We're going to do a little bit of a spicy mayo aioli, but you can definitely use as much or as little Old Bay as you want. I'm a fan of the flavor of Old Bay, so we're going to go for a medium amount. and then you can kind of smush it together if you want. But there's still, you know, moisture in the peppers, there's moisture in the green onions, there's a little bit of moisture left in the lion's mane. And obviously we've got the mayo and the Worcestershire sauce along with the egg, this other binder. All right, and this guy's pretty much ready for us to transfer into this bowl, and we're gonna put it in there overnight. So we're just gonna put a little flour down while we're getting ready to prep the actual crab cakes, or lion's mane cakes, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I'm going for basically a kind of what I consider like a standard sized crab cake. We're gonna look for something that's gonna fry up kind of evenly. So think like quarter-pound hamburger if you are a meat person, coated in a little bit of flour, and then we're gonna fry these babies up. Yeah, it just kind of helps to add to the gluing it all together, and then helps with the golden brown coating finish that we're looking for. Kind of like frying chicken or something like that. So we got a cast iron skillet, medium heat, and we're looking for this kind of golden brown color that we're seeing here. We're gonna finish them off in the oven around 350. But this is kind of our, you know, the vision we're looking for here. Pop it on this guy. This in the oven. So these are the finished product. They've been in the oven for about 10 minutes or so. I'm gonna put it on the plate here. Well, I like to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice over the crab cake, and then a dollop of some spicy mayo or tartar sauce, whatever you like. She's ready to go. If it tastes like I'm going to say it's amazing. We'll see where we're at here. It's got it. I could eat all of them. Visit a farm near you to get some fresh lion's mane and make this recipe for yourself. Now you gotta try one.
I like the texture a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see it's crab cake-esque, you know? I mean, pretty much every chef that we give mushrooms to that I think is like worth their chops, they do things with mushrooms. I have no idea what they do and how they do it. You know, I'm like, every time I cook mushrooms, it's not nearly as good, you know?